Hi guys! For today's video, I will share with you how I use Notion to track my finances. So if you're new here, I'm Algerie and I post videos every week on how we can improve our overall wellness, well-being, connection, purpose, and security, and the occasional K-pop content. So there's a lot of things that you can do with Notion, but I mainly use it for three things. First, anything about note-taking. Second, all of the content that I do in YouTube. And lastly, for tracking my finances, which I will be sharing for today's video. So let's get started. Again, disclaimer, sorry for the background noise. So here's a copy of the financial page that I'm using right now. I changed some of the values and removed other sensitive information, but you can download this template if you want to use it as well. Check it out in the description box below. First things first, you can always change this banner and logo, but here's what I currently have. So you can just click change cover, and then you can choose any of the images here, or you can upload your own. So same for the logo right here. This is what I have right now. It's pink because it's the overall theme of my Notion workspace. And then here I placed a random quote I found on the internet to motivate me to handle my finances properly. So it says, "You must gain control over your money or the lack of it will forever control you," which I truly believe because I've experienced it in the past when I didn't control or track my finances properly. So I really wanted to share this template with you so it can hopefully help you as well track your finances properly. This table shows all of the location of my liquid money. So here we have cash on hand, my bank accounts from physical banks and digital banks. You can add if you have other bank accounts. For example, if you have ING, you can add it here like this. So you only need to edit the first column, which is the amount of money carried over from the previous year. The other columns are automatically calculated because it is linked in the cash flow page, which I will show you later. And then on the last column, you can see how much money you currently have per location, and you can easily see your total liquid money by calculating the sum like this. Okay, again, these are just arbitrary values. So yeah. Down here, we have two columns. The first one is all about planning, and the second one is all about tracking. So I think you have to plan properly first, and then you have to track afterwards so you can see if all went according to plan or you need to change or adjust something. You can do that when you track your progress. So first, let's go to this page, Game of Wealth. I think it was 2 years ago when I discovered Pinoy Money Academy. So I enrolled in their program and I watched their course entitled Game of Wealth, which discusses the different stages towards financial freedom and abundance. So this course was really an eye-opener for me and I learned a lot, and I think this course is posted on their YouTube page. So if you're interested in that, I'll put a link on the description box below. This page just contains my notes from the course, and basically this is where I refer to every time I plan. Like when I'm not sure what my next step will be, I will just check my notes. And as you can see, I'm currently in stage 4, independence. So if I go to this page, stage 4, I know what next steps to take since I already completed my emergency fund and I already have an insurance to cover unbearable emergencies. Now I need sufficient funding monthly for my personal goals and mandatory expense like retirement. Which leads me to the next page, financial goals. For reference, I also copied here my financial goals last year. So last year, I was stuck in the quick stance stage because I had a large credit card debt. That was my first goal, and when I finished paying all of that, I went ahead and started building my emergency fund. So you can use this to track your progress. Just change the target column and the current amount column, and it will automatically compute your progress. And then when I completed that, I went ahead and did some research regarding insurance. So I didn't want a vol because I want to invest my money personally. And I think what I needed at that moment was a critical illness insurance kasi doon ako napapraning. There's no history naman in our family, but you'll never know what might happen, and I wanted that peace of mind. So I found this Excel sheet in Reddit comparing plans from different insurance companies, and based from this, I set up a meeting from a financial advisor and bought my chosen plan just this January. So yeah. And then now moving on to my goals this year, medyo boring. I just want to allocate a specific amount of money for my joint fund with NJ, my MP2 account, my mutual funds investment, and my money jars. And what is this money jars? So before going into that, let me go and explain first how I categorize my spendings. So if you go to the cash flow page, you can see here a category and subcategory list. I got this again from one of the courses from Pinoy Money Academy. It's entitled The Art of Guilt-Free Spending. In the course, he said that there are 7 functions of money. First is survival. So this is everything we need to live on a day-to-day basis. So my subcategories are food, housing, transportation, utilities for electricity, electricity and water bills, connection for mobile data if I ever need it, groceries and health for medicines, etc. So second category is comfort. So this is the money we spend to feel good or avoid discomfort. So this is different for every person, but for me, my subcategories are first, eat out. This is anything outside my basic meals. If we order deliveries, if there's an occasion, this is where I get my money. And then drink out. I used to spend a lot on this before, but since there's a pandemic, I don't really spend on this that much. Next is gadget. Like recently, I bought an Apple Watch and anything related to gadgets. So for example, I bought this strap band and soon I have this fixed because I broke it. And then subscription. So I only have Spotify and Netflix right now. And then next is renovation. Anything related for home improvement. Last year, I spent so much on this subcategory. Like I bought this computer chair to improve my work from home setup. So yeah. And then last is shopping. So not much these days, but if I buy clothes, shoes, accessories, this is where I categorize it. And then third category is personal milestones. This is the money we spend to achieve our personal goals and it gives us long-term fulfillment. Okay, so for me, I have 4 subcategories. First is self-care because I place so much value in taking care of myself because how can I help other people if I can take care of myself, right? So this is more of like relaxation for myself. So facials, treatments, products, skincare. So there. And then next is fitness. That's pretty self-explanatory. And then travel. Of course, I don't spend anything here at the moment because of the pandemic. But yeah. And then 3 lang pala. So yun. Again, this subcategory is for you. So this can be your first like wedding, car, your first home. But these are my personal milestones for now since I'm still pretty young. So next category is security. So this is the money we spend to have a sense of security and peace of mind. So it's money that's just there. So my subcategories are emergency fund and I completed that last year. Next is my joint fund with NJ, my boyfriend, so for our future spendings. Next is retirement fund. So this is just money that I put in mutual funds for long-term investment. And then last is my MP2 fund. So the next category is growth. So this is the money that we use to have a better future for ourselves. I just have here 3 subcategories. First is business development. Not much, but I tried baking last year. So this is the subcategory if I spend on something to test business ideas. And the next subcategory, personal development. So when I buy books, online courses, or if I want to try something for hobbies, like last year I bought lots of yarn to try crochet. So there. And then last is technical development. So this is online technical courses related to my current field, which is software development. Okay, and then next category is abundance. So this is the money we give away to other people without expecting anything in return. So my subcategories are charity, gifts, retro. This is anything that I spend as a team leader in my work. So sometimes we have team retrospectives and we treat them food. So there. And then last is family allowance. So I give money to my parents every week for groceries. And last category is fluff. So this is any unintentional purchase without any purpose. Anything that I bought without thinking through, like I just bought it because it was so appealing at that moment. This is also where I categorize bank fees, transfer fees, like that. Any fees that I consider as fluff. So now that I have explained how I categorize my spendings, let's go back to the money jar system that I was talking about earlier. So again, in the same course about guilt-free spending, he discussed how we can spend in advance. So the idea is you set aside money that you can spend for the future. So basically, you decide what are your buckets, like what do you need to prioritize at that moment. So for me, of course, after all the basic necessities like food and electricity, I immediately allocate for my parents' allowance and investments. And then after that, I will budget the remaining money to my different jars. So right now, I have 7 jars that I allocate to. And this is based for my spending last year. These are the areas that I mostly spend on. So they are health, events, shop, personal, travel, growth, and charity. So if ever I want to buy something, I write it down first in the planned buys column. So I will only buy it when I already have the amount needed to buy it. Because before, I always use my credit card and then I end up not saving anything. So I am trying to change that bad habit using this money jar system. So first, health jar. Not much, but I buy eye drops monthly because I have super dry eyes. And the rest just in case I need to buy medicine and stuff. For the event jar, these are all for for eat-outs during occasions or if I have a sudden craving, this is where I get my money to spend on that. And for future events as well, like for example, I already know where to buy my birthday cake, so I put it in this column. And then next is shop jar, basically for all my shopping. So I have a column here, fixed buys, for recurring spendings like subscription for Spotify and Netflix. And here I need to budget to have my watch fixed. So next is personal jar for all my personal care kemerut. And right now I'm saving up for a new diode laser package, whey protein once my current bottle is finished, and probably a new weighing scale. And the next, travel jar. We all know we can't travel right now, but I'm saving up for my future travels. So first on my list is Japan because I want to visit my bebe. Next is growth jar. Not much here aside from books, but I still have a lot of unread books, so I'm trying to limit myself not to buy any more books until I finish all of them. And lastly is charity jar, which is pretty self-explanatory. Okay, so what I do is I budget my money at the end of each month, and in our company, our payouts are every 10th and 25th of the month. So for example, it's February. The money that I will be using to spend for February is the January 25th pay and February 10th pay. I already know how much I will be receiving based on this page, Pay Computation. So here I log my overtime on this table, and this table automatically computes how much tax I need to pay and what is my net pay. So the formula here for the tax actually depends on your company. So for example, us, we have semi-monthly payouts, and my salary ranges from these two columns. So this is from the BIR tax table. So I base the equation from this prescribed withholding tax. So you can change the values depending on how your company computes it. And then the last thing that I will show you is how I track my expenses. So I have here the cash flow page. So I have a page for each month's log, and I basically just log everything I spend. So there's a category and subcategory column here, what payment mode I used, how much it is, and if I used my money jars for spending that item. So for example, here I paid for my subscription, so I use my Coma account and it's deducted from my shop jar. So I just log everything here, and I usually transfer my money from Metro Bank to my other bank accounts because it's my payroll account. So this is how it looks like. I transferred 8,500 from my Metro Bank to my different money jars in my Coma account. So there. And what's cool is this is actually linked to the previous page where all of the categories and subcategories are listed. So if we go back here, you can see how much I spent on each category. So I can easily look into each category by opening it here, and I can see here what I spent on the survival category in the January items property. And I can also see if I overspent for each category based on my budget by changing the table view. So here, for example, we can see that I overspent in the abundance category, but I didn't spend any for the personal category. So it will be carried over to the next month. So there. So I think that's all, and this pretty much works for me. So I really wanted to put all of my notes and my stuff in one place, and I think Notion is a really good place for that. So previously I was so confused because my files are all over the place. Like my notes are in OneNote, Google Docs, Google Sheets, and my finance tracking is in my local files in my computer. So it's kind of confusing for me. So if you also want to put all of your stuff in a centralized location, you can give Notion a try. It's free, and you can also try this template that I use for tracking my finances. So it's in the description box below. So there. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel if you want more content on how we can improve our overall wellness. That's it. Bye guys. Thanks for watching.